Peace to the saints. Today's topic I was inspired to review because of a lot of the folks calling in recently. I found that the ability to deal with stress and anxiety is one that needs to be taught. And so I'm speaking on this critical topic because you're going to encounter these challenges all the time. Firstly, we must understand the difference between stress and anxiety, and then we will review a couple methods that you can use to manage these two challenges that accompany life, no matter where you live in the world, no matter what level at which you live. That is, if you're poor, wealthy, etc. I want to acknowledge Mitchell comes in via Cashapp, writes peace to the saints, as does Jamal comes in with tuition. I would also like to acknowledge one of the saints who was thoughtful enough to come in offline. He came in via PayPal with the baller alert. That is Thaddeus. Now let's go ahead and get to this game. Oh, and of course, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments in particular, feel free to send them in via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat as we go. Number one, the greater topic here is how to deal with stress. Let me first differentiate stress from anxiety, and we will first deal with stress. Now, stress is something that might make you feel as though you're facing a challenge. Stress is when you're experiencing stagnation that bothers you. Stress is essentially fear, and fear is a shapeshifter. Appears to you in many different forms. You might feel stressed about a test you have coming up. That's not stress. That's fear that you're going to underperform. You might feel stress when you have to go talk to a woman. That's not stress. That's fear that she's going to shut you down. Stress is essentially fear, the unresolved emotion of fear. Separately, anxiety is something that might not necessarily root from a specific problem or a specific stimulus. Anxiety is an uneasy feeling that sticks with you that actually has deeper roots than a single problem. As a result of stress being more straightforward, let us start with stress. As I said, stress is a shapeshifter. It is essentially fear in essence. It may come in a form of a challenge. It may feel like stagnation. You're not moving forward. All the same, these are negative feelings that you are not making progress. That's what it comes down to, a negative feeling that you are not making progress. The number one challenge that you're going to experience that is stress is when you ignore problems. You ever leave something undone? Something that nags at you and you know you need to get it done, but you've been avoiding it, pretending it doesn't exist or pretending it won't hurt you. Avoiding or ignoring problems is going to cause you stress because even though you've closed your eyes to the problem, it's still there. That's number one. Then number two is failure to make exciting plans, which is to say plans that are going to cause you to do something and move forward. So the first one is ignoring real problems that exist. The second one is not making plans that make you move forward, which is to say stagnation. You're standing in one place. That is stressful, causes unhappiness. Now, where do these two failings root from? The failing of ignoring problems and the other failing of not making exciting plans that you execute to move forward. Number one is performance anxiety. Performance anxiety is a term that refers to the psychological disposition wherein you do nothing or you procrastinate, which is to delay because you don't think that you're going to achieve the desired outcome. Performance anxiety. You have anxiousness about how you will perform. You stop and fail to talk to that girl because you're anxious about how you will perform, the outcome. You avoid going to take your driver's test because you are anxious about the result of the driver's test or how you will do. That's performance anxiety. Here's the second one. This one is much deeper. Lack of feeling deserving. This relates to that second failure, the failure to make exciting plans, plans that move you to the next level, plans that advance your career, plans that advance your wealth and your relationships, plans that are exciting, plans that are worthy of a great man or woman. That is the lack of feeling that you deserve good things. It might sound basic. You might say, Marquette, I think I deserve good things. Do you? Do you really believe that every single day should be a happy day for you? Do you really believe that you should have better things than other people? You see, the challenge today is that a lot of you have been taught about equality. And in these preachings about equality, equalness, sameness, you believe you need to be on an equal plane. Well, you'll never get the great things in life if you truly believe in equality. You must fundamentally believe in hierarchy if you expect to advance beyond your peers. If you expect to have better things than the average person has, you fundamentally have to believe in equality, that you are better at something than someone else, or you work harder than others, or that for some reason you deserve something greater. And that is a challenging fundamental belief that most people are struggling to embrace. And undoubtedly for me, I believe that, yes, I do deserve better things than people who have low morals and don't engage in the regular behaviors that help them advance, whether it's good behaviors in health, diet, exercise, business, what have you. So you have to fundamentally believe that you deserve. The driving force of failing to make that exciting plan and failing to execute it, and therefore experiencing stagnation, and that stagnation being the root of stress, that all comes from not believing in yourself and not believing in hierarchy, that you should be above someone in the hierarchy. When you experience stress, what you have to do is exercise a process on yourself. It is true that a neurosurgeon cannot do brain surgery on themselves. That is true. But that does not mean that a mechanic cannot fix his own car. A mechanic can fix his own car, though he might not be able to service the car entirely independently. All the same, if you're a mechanic and the car is your brain or your emotions, you should be able to do a fix-up to get you back on the road. You must enact this fix-up of your emotions and your mindset when you start to feel stress come upon yourself. You don't want to wait until you're in the dumps and you're depressed. You want to address it when it is mere stress. When I start to feel stress, I ask myself the following questions. Number one, what would I feel, think, say, or do if I was not scared? What would I feel, think, say, or do if I was not scared? You might say, Marquette, what do those questions have to do with stress? Well, as I pointed out earlier, the root of stress is fear. You're scared of something. You're scared someone won't like you. You're scared about how your parents might react to a certain piece of information, maybe your failing report card. You're scared about how a girl might receive you if you approach her. You're scared about not being able to pay your bills at the end of the month. And you're reacting to this fear, and that is causing you to have the experience of stress. To start stepping out of that experience so that you might think clearly and feel the good emotions necessary to move forward, you should ask yourself the following questions. What would I do if I did not feel, think, or excuse me, what would I feel, think, say, or do if I wasn't scared? And then when you start enacting those things, feeling good, thinking without fear, speaking confidence, and taking the actions of a fearless lunatic, that will begin the healing process and also the corrective process that addresses the roots that are actually causing your stress.